Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, and we are back with the One Piece manga. And oh boy, it's funny. It really isn't until these particular moments where the manga has been on an extended has been on a hiatus, and only when it returns where you really start to kind of appreciate it a lot more. Like with me, like I've with me particularly, I with Golden Week, it with Golden Week with the break and everything, it really made me kind of with the break and everything, it really kind of made me appreciate how just how much I really like I really love love One Piece as mostly a series in general, but especially the manga. Like just with the manga back, I really like appreciated this pretty much chapter a lot more now. Um, Now, granted, obviously, at the end of the chapter, there pretty much is an author's note that apparently it is going on break again. But at least for this one moment, like I can genuinely appreciate. I feel like I can genuinely appreciate that pretty much the manga is pretty much back again. Again, even if it's going on break again, but just this one moment in time is like I love. I really love. It made me realize how much I appreciate One Piece as a series. Yeah. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a ranty kind of speech there. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah. With that said, this is One Piece chapter 942. So I don't think I really need to even say how much for the character of basically Yasu'ie stole every single bit of spotlight this week, because of that, there's a very there's one key thing in order to take away from this chapter, which that pretty much Yasui lived and died as a foolish hero, and that isn't me is and that trust me, that isn't me insulting him in any which way. In fact, honestly, with him having that title of a foolish hero, it makes me really realize how important a role with this chapter, everything culminated together, and it made me realize just how much of an important role the character has and maybe with the series in general, because what pretty much Yasui did in what he did in what he did in terms of his legacy and just his role in Wano is he managed to turn, being the foolish hero that he managed to turn a simple prank into Wano's salvation. But here's the thing. By pretty much by basically choosing to pretty much fabricate the whole entire legend of the Red Scabbards, he gave the citizens hope in a time where they needed it most. And now, by admitting it was a prank, he reinvigorated the country's resolve and exposed Orochi all in one. So pretty much now his legacy is given his legacy amounts to, with him being this foolish hero, he's given the citizens he's given the citizens a pretty much reason in order to start fighting again against Kaido and against Orochi. He and on Orochi's case, like it seems like it seems from the way it was set up that everyone has basically turned against him at this point. So basically what pretty much Yasui did in this chapter, he made it impossible for he turned the entire country including Orochi's own men against him. And now like Orochi is pretty much for the most part of what we can say from what we can see is pretty much cornered. And although I will say that I'm definitely curious how pretty much Kaido is going to respond to pretty much this uprising, because I at this I want to say that pretty much Kaido, that Orochi has outlived his usefulness to Kaido, but who knows? Orochi, I think Orochi is probably still gonna have some kind of use to Kaido until Kaido says otherwise. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious as to what Kaido's role in is going to be in all this, especially since we've reached the point of definite rebellion, and pretty much Orochi having lost all influence with the people now. Um, Also, one thing I really found interesting about this chapter, and especially like everything about the setup and the setup with basically Yasui's execution and his speech, is that like I said, in some ways the whole setup and situation is kind of like a reverse Alabasta, where in the situation of Alabasta, it was Vivi who was trying to stop who was trying to stop a war and all the fighting in order to save her kingdom. But here in Wano, it's the complete opposite, where or pretty much the means where the pretty much the means in which kind of in the means but by pretty much which that the citizens of Wano can pretty much actually save the can pretty much can end up saving the kingdom is by taking up arms. And is and pretty much Yusui's speech was practically encouraging them of that, and enforcing them that in order to free Wano from pretty much any kind of oppression from either Kaido or Orochi, that they pretty much have to fight at this point. They have to take up arms. So yeah, I like how it was kind of a bit of a reverse Alabasta situation, I think. I or and if I'm misinterpreting it, I think another way we can probably, I think another way we can probably interpret it too is that is that with basically Yasui's with the execution of Yasui, it did have a lot of striking similarities to pretty much how Roger was executed as well. Both Yasui and Roger were executed, but only after saying that one final impactful line, or just the one final bit of impactful information that pretty much that pretty much changed everything. So pretty much and now with Yasui, he said his piece, and the one final thing that can probably that'll change the course of Wano's future now. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting how this whole chapter played out, if you think about how you think about it. Um, and after Yasui dies, the entire country erupts into laughter. And with that, we also end up getting the reveal that the reason the citizens are laughing uncontrollably is because of the smile fruit. And the thing is, with that particular reveal, I want to say that pretty much Hiyori is what basically I want to say that what pretty much Hiyori is getting at is that the factories and pollution are the cause of the people's uncontrollable laughter and just constant smiles. I think that's what she's getting at, and less about the actual fruit themselves, because as we know, the smiles themselves are more or less just pretty much like pretty much zone devil fruits. So yeah, with that, I can't see how eating the fruit itself could really have that effect of forcing people to smile, unless. Yeah, so I think it might have a little more to do with the pollution, and a little more to do with the pollution that the factories have caused. But if in fact what it is what if a smile fruit is involved in this, then it could possibly, if a smile fruit is involved with this, and it's something that Oda hasn't revealed yet, then maybe what has caused this is that they've eaten like pretty much the citizens have eaten almost a bit of an earlier model of the smile fruit or something like that. But a little bit of an earlier model of the Smile Fruit, but I don't. But yeah, I think it is a little. I'm leaning a little more towards the pollution angle of this. Um, but but yeah, either way. But yeah, either way, it's with this whole with this whole like revelation of the citizens just constantly smiling. It is kind of a clever. It's a bit of a bit of a clever throwback to one of Doflamingo's lines to pretty much Disco and how about how it's all about the smiles now. Like he, in a way, he wasn't kidding. Like Wano is kind of infected with this little disease that's causing him to smile and laugh now. So he's not wrong. And it does make me wonder now even more if if it does make me realize even more that Oda might have been a lot more influenced by pretty much the Joker with Doflamingo than we first thought. Um, but yeah, but either way, I'm definitely curious as to what angle that Oda's gonna go with this. If it's the factories and the pollution, or if it's like a bit of an earlier model of the smile fruits that an effective earlier model of the smile fruits that both Doflamingo and Caesar developed together. But yeah, I'm curious which way Oda's gonna go with this, but I'll wait till now. Um, Now, one thing to take note of, I guess, is that we definitely get a flashback of basically pretty much of Odin and pretty much Yasui in this chapter. And if I'm being honest, that I think the flashback itself, it was nice, but it was one of the weaker parts of the chapter because I wanted the flashback itself was good, but I wanted more. I wanted more of that flashback, and specifically, I wanted to know the circumstances of how Odin met and accompanied Roger, but but again, it really only teased us to that with his whole thing of I'm a ruffian, I want to go out to sea kind of thing. So we get a little bit of an allusion to that, but we didn't get like any kind of concrete details on how they met or anything like that. So hopefully we're basically gonna get a next chapter or a couple or just a couple chapters in now. Um, and hopefully a full introduction to Odin as well because don't get me wrong, I do like how Oda is keeping him in shadows and keeping his appearance a mystery, but at the same time, I really just want to see what pretty much Odin looks like already. Like, what Odin looks like, whether or not it's in his youth or his pretty much full, or his pretty much older appearance. Like, either one, I want to see Odin now. Like, seriously, just introduce the guy already. Introduce the guy fully already. Um, yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.